it has to be Trump. It has to be. Because if we vote DNC, we're voting for liars. It's just that simple. The DNC is lying. I don't trust the Republicans either. But they won't even think about backing Cornel West.
Real life. If that shit ain't real life,
if it ain't real life, just ain't real. Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
The world is looking at us and they're laughing. And no disrespect. Did Jasmine Crockett handle up on Marjorie Taylor Greene? Yes, she did.
She did?
But she sat there and she tried to validate a woman that she knows is not black. Yeah. And she's a black woman. And then I'm sitting there watching the teleprompter and I could tell when they were changing it because they had a different couple versions of everyone's speech. I think the most disgusting part for me was the reproductive rights racket that they were running. First, they had the white couple where the husband spoke about how terrible it was that his wife couldn't get an abortion when she needed one and she was just bleeding because the laws were so unfair. And then the next was a black woman, but it was a black woman without her husband. See, she was married, but her husband was not present. First couple, husband spoke, "This is fucked up. They fucking almost cost me my wife." And she's, honey. And then they had the black woman, married, but her husband was not present. And then she talked about how fucked up it was in Louisiana. You want to know what was interesting? If she hadn't said from her state, my home state of Louisiana, I would have thought she was from Philly or Jersey or Delaware. She didn't sound like she was from Louisiana at all. And if you're going to represent Louisiana, the one thing you want to do is sound like you're from Louisiana. Louisiana talk a certain way, got a certain language. When you represent the state, you represent the state. If you cleaning up your shit to sound like a little girl who went to Seton Hall,
yeah,
nah, that's not Louisiana. I smell bull. And the black woman, though she was married and also having a miscarriage like the white couple, her husband wasn't there to support her, see? I guess she gonna have a white man next year, do the black wife effect. See how this works? See the images they're painting? The last one, though, that was the kicker. The little white girl. Did you see her at the end? And she starts talking about how she was the prom queen and she was the president of this. And then she says, "And I'm a survivor. Wait for it." Ah! What did you survive, honey? Because you said you were everything else great. And you said you were a survivor, laughed, and you did the wait for it moment and wait for everyone to applaud you. And she says, "You know, when my daddy started raping me when I was a little girl." Now, of course, we're going to have to bleep that out because on a construct like YouTube, you can't even say the word rape. You have to say grape, or you have to say unalive, or you have to say red rum, or you have to say all of these things. But apparently at the Democratic National Convention, it's okay for a little girl to start her speech off by talking about how she got raped by her father all the time. Ain't that crazy?
Hey.
Anyway, she
Michelle
talks about being, assaulted by her dad and how she was pregnant at 12 and how she went to go get a deletion. And when she got there, she heard them say at the clinic, "Honey, it's okay. You have options." And guess what she said? For the first time in my life, I was happy because I had never had an option before. She was so grateful for her abortion. Because what kind of country is this where people expect a child to carry their parents' baby? We need our reproductive rights. We don't just need to make sure that we stop leaving fathers in the house that think it's good to impregnate their 12-year-old daughters. That sounds like more of the issue than pregnancy to me. The one thing they didn't mention in that story was when her father was charged and sent to jail for it. So they got the white couple. You almost killed my wife. You got the black woman representing a couple, but he's not there. Oh my God. Who's gonna make dinner for Junior if I die giving birth? And then, please vote for Kamala, because she'll make sure that when your daddy, when you're 12, you can get an abortion too. Like, oh wow.
So, Jag, you speak things to existence, and you know what's coming most of the time, right? Like, we know that. You've been on record saying about Diddy and all this stuff. Like, you just know what's gonna happen. Who wins the election? Who do you think?
In my honest opinion, it has to be Trump. It has to be. Because if we vote DNC, we're voting for liars. It's just that simple. The DNC is lying. I don't trust the Republicans either. But they won't even think about backing Cornel West. Like, I'm sitting there looking at all these black people, and nobody said, Cornel West sat right here.
Right.
We know this couch gets traction. He said it here. He's running for president. Odell works with Dr. Abdullah. He produces for her. These are two black doctors. And not doctors, doctors! And they're not even considered. How many black people have you heard say, I'm gonna vote for Cornel West? Apparently, in order to be considered a black American, you just have to have somebody whose skin is darker. Even if it's not, like, I don't know, they keep calling her African American, but she's Jamaican. She's dot Indian and West Indian. She Indian. She double curry. I don't know. I'm trying not. But when I seen Hillary, and then Hillary came up there, vote for her because you didn't vote for me. Come on, we're gonna get some in here. One way or the other.
Do you think a woman is equipped to be the president of the United States?
I think Hillary Clinton would have made a damn fine president. She actually knows how to do business like a chick with a dick. She thinks like a man. You gotta have the ability to be the leader of a nation. You have to have the ability to be able to decipher when to use your heart, when to use your mind, and when to use your courage. Most women get confused in that. Most women think their heart and their courage are the same thing, or their mind and their heart are like, we get confused. I wish, Like I said, you want to see whether or not a woman can run this country, make her president, and then kidnap her kids. See what she does next.
Kamala is 59 years old, no kids. At least
Menopause should be easy.
The in London, the Queen Elizabeth, she did well.
She was trained in world affairs, and at the time that she went into power, they were like the leading superpower in the world. This is a woman who comes from this. You know what I mean? Who was trained to be this. We got a commercial out where an interviewer says to Kamala, but you've never been to the border. And she says, well, I've never been to Europe either. And you want to be president? That was your response. Number one, what the does you being vice president in the United States and issues in your country have to do with whether or not you went to Europe? You ain't solving problems in Europe. Who gives a if you've been to Europe? You ain't becoming the Duchess of fucking Monaco. You're in leadership here. People are asking you why you're not more interested in the place you're governing. And the first thing you say is, well, there's a lot of places I don't go. You know what I mean? Like, how was that an answer? And how was that allowed to ride? Is she really as intelligent as she wants people to believe, as people say? Or is Joe Brown telling the truth? Joe Brown been talking cash money bullshit and nobody's put a gag order on him. Nobody's hit him with a cease and desist and nobody's threatening him with defamation, which means only one thing, he ain't lying. So if he's not lying about her, why do we want her to be president? All they're going to do is use everything about her against us.
Right.
She's too busy f***ing everyone in the cabinet to run your country. That'll be the first thing they say. They'll attack her sexuality. Well, who do you got over there, Montel? Like, why do we want that?
Should we be voting the black people?
I think black people should vote for black Americans. Cornel West and Dr. Abdullah are black Americans. This woman is West Indian and dot Indian and cleans her collard greens in a bathtub. Who eats at your house?
She said that.
Not even slaves did that. Not even slaves. And you're going to speak for who? You want the black vote. You want the female vote. You want to inflame and enrage. Please vote for Kamala so the next time my daddy rapes me, I can get an abortion fast. I'm sorry, we're voting for that.
Michelle and Obama endorses. Biden endorses.
Yeah, well, Michelle, because she should have just ran.
Hey.
Then we would have actually had a black female candidate. The question is, why isn't she running? And why has she been so opposed to running? Why is someone with those kind of credentials running from the spotlight when all she ever wanted to do was be the star? Understand this. She was the rock star. She was she was the one. She put Obama on. Just like Hillary put Bill on. A lot in common between these couples. Charismatic men and really smart, not so pretty women. They both have they both got Margaret Thatcher quality.
Okay. Margaret Thatcher, okay.
Margaret Thatcher knew how to run business. She did not know how to run a brassiere or a tube of lipstick. Or Margaret Thatcher was not sexy. at all. And let's just be honest, Hillary Clinton is not sexy. And let's just be honest, I don't give a fuck how dope her arms are. I know a lot of fucking power forwards in the NBA that got the same biceps as Michelle Obama.
There's a conspiracy theory going on out there.
When all you can talk about in a woman's beauty is how fit her arms are.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Well, how many push-ups is she doing with her husband every day?
She ran a fit challenge during her first lady run. Like they were working out in front of the White House.
Yeah, they were. They were doing a lot.
She was like, don't believe me, just watch. She didn't look appealing.
Yeah, fitness, and yet in the middle of that fitness campaign, nobody bothered to change the entire eating structure for children altogether.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move it. Hey.